5 top pick cryptocurrencies. This is Mike with MrNoFluff.com, and today's class is about my top 5 picks of cryptocurrencies in 2018. Okay, guys. Now, before I explain to you guys my top picks, I want to outline the framework of my thinking and how I came up with this because I think it's very, very important that you understand this. Okay. The very first thing I look at when I decide about this list is safety, guys. Okay, is how safe is the coin or token? Okay, for example, safety is the number one priority for me because if I'm gonna put my money up somewhere, I want to make sure that it's safe, guys. Now, there's a lot of coins out there or tokens that are not safe that have been hacked. For example, Ethereum, okay, Ether is one of them, okay, that has been hacked. There's many other ones, there's Verge, etc. Okay, so my very first thing that I go into it is how safe is this token? The second cofactor that determines, you know, if I'm going to invest into a token or cryptos or coins is um, control. Who controls it? Okay, control is a very important factor. Now, some coins or cryptos are controlled by private corporations. For example, Ripple, okay, XRP, um, so many other ones. Others, like Bitcoin, no one controls it, no one owns it in a sense. It's someone give it birth and it put out on the internet, and it's kind of like a AI is grown by itself in a sense, with human help, of course, but it's grown by itself. No one controls it. Okay, so control is a very, very um, cofactor that I look at when I make decisions. Okay, so how safe is it from hackers, and then who controls it? Why do I look for control? For example, if I buy X and government comes outlaws it the next day, well, and how can they outlaw it? Is because through control, they could go there with guys with guns and put the CEO in jail, or put the CEO in prison, or close down the shop. Where other stuff, for example, like Bitcoin, no one controls it. There's no CEO. There's no one for guys with guns to go up there and seize it. Okay, and it's a decentralized system, which means that if they shut out a couple of the servers, that the nodes, that it still will function. Okay, so control is a very, very important factor for me. Now, the other important factor is it being editable. Okay, why is this such an important factor? For example, the reason Ethereum split from Ethereum to Ethereum Classic is because they got hacked, and part of the community felt like they should go edit the code to give the money back to people that lost their money because they're hackers. And the other part of the community says no, the code is final, it cannot be changed. And I'm in the camp that I feel like the code should be final. And the reason is because again, Big Brother, creditors, and big corporations. For example, if I have money for let's say I have $1,000 in Bitcoin, I don't want anyone to go and edit it to roll back the time and do any editing. When I have $1,000, it's $1,000. No one can fuck with it. Not the president, not the bankers, not the creditors, no one. Okay. Where if it was corporate owned, let's say, they could go back and edit it. For example, if you have your money in the Bank of America, they can edit it. The government can take your money, creditors can take your money, attack your money. So someone can go in there and actually reach into your banking account and edit what you have in there. Okay. Where when I make these decisions, I want a coin, I want a crypto that's not editable, right? No one can go into their office with guns and say, well, this guy has 10,000, take it away. This guy has 100 million, take it away or edit it. I don't want that. So my first priority is safety. My second priority is control. Who controls it? I want something that no one controls. It's decentralized. And I want something that's not editable. Not. Okay. I don't want to be editable. Like if I have X amount in there, I don't want anyone to be able to fuck with that besides me. No one. Okay. No one. not my parents, not Big Brother, nothing else. Okay, and the the next thing that I look at is privacy. Okay, and those are basically the four factors that I use to come up with this my top five pick cryptocurrencies for 2018, guys. Okay, now let's go by them one by one, and I'll explain to you why I decided the way I did. All right, my very first pick is Bitcoin. Now, the reason I got Bitcoin is because it passed the safety. Bitcoin is one of the only coins out there that hasn't been hacked. It's one of the very original coins. It grew up in the swamps with hackers all around and haven't been able to infiltrate it. So far, it's one of the safest coins. I mean, there's other big companies or big coins out there like Ethereum, not companies, but Ethereum or brands is probably better to put it. But it's been hacked multiple times. Just recently got hacked. There's so many different brands or coins out there. I like to just call them companies, but because it's kind of like our companies almost that have already been hacked. People stole thousands, if not millions of dollars from other people's accounts through hackers. Okay, so my number one coin is Bitcoin because it's safe. There's no one controlling it. You know, the FCC can't control it. The Chinese government can't control it. Russia can't control it. The U.S. government can't control it. The bankers can't control it. Nobody can control it. It's not editable. Like if I have this money in there, no one can edit it. Not Coinbase. Not no one can edit my money as long as I control the private keys, and that's the key. If you have your private keys at Coinbase, then Coinbase can alter your account. But if you control your private keys, no one can mess with it. And the only thing that it lacks is privacy, guys, for Bitcoins. Okay, because even to contrary believe Bitcoin is traceable. You can see from what wallets transferred to what wallet, how much money's gone to a wallet, etc. Okay, so out of the four, three are pretty good. So my very first choice is Bitcoin. Now there, since Bitcoin had a fork, okay, I'm also a believer of Bitcoin Cash. Now, the reason I'm a believer of Bitcoin Cash is because I like the guy Roger Veers. I follow him. He's a very smart guy. I just like him a lot, and I believe Bitcoin is where it is, partly because of Roger Veers. And according to him, he says that Bitcoin is not Bitcoin anymore because it's like the new standard of gold. And the founder of original Bitcoin wanted Bitcoin to be a money where you could transact all over the world, even if you want to send one penny or one tenth of a penny or what have you. And right now, with all the fees, minor fees, that Bitcoin has gone commercial in a sense, and he forked or he split Bitcoins into a new brand called Bitcoin Cash. And I believe, that is true because, Bitcoin prices were going pretty expensive back where it was at $19,000 per coin. Okay. It would take a very long time. It was very expensive, where Bitcoin Cash um, is fulfilling what Bitcoin originally was supposed to. And I like the guy, so I have my money in Bitcoin Cash as well, guys. Okay, and Bitcoin Cash is very similar to Bitcoin. There's a couple of differences, like block sizes, but things of that nature. But I just want to stick with that. They're very similar, but I believe in both of these. So I'm heavily invested in these two. Okay, I'm actually heavily invested in a lot of different cryptos, but my top five is where I'm sharing with you guys. Okay, now my my third pick is Neo. Now, one thing I want to take time to explain is that I don't invest in dApps or apps, okay, decentralized apps or things of that nature. What I'm looking for to invest in is currencies like Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin or protocols. This is a protocol, okay. Now, what is a protocol? Okay, a protocol is, for example, what HTTP is. A protocol is what POP3 is. A protocol is what FTP is. A protocol is what STMP is. A protocol is what IP is. Okay, these are all a standard way of to communicate. Okay, so I only want to invest in protocols. Protocols like HTTP get built upon. Okay, protocols are a standard of communication, but other things are built because if there was no HTTP or if there was no IP, okay, then the internet could not be built upon it. It's kind of like a layer, if you want to say, like a soil where other things go on top of it. Okay, so I invest in just protocols like Neo because other things are going to go on top of that. So I don't invest on the, for example, the top soil, I invest on the bottom soil, which is the foundation for other cool, platforms. Like, does that make sense? So I don't invest, for example, in, let's say, uh, Amazon, but I'll invest in if I could buy the internet, because in this age you can actually buy the internet. When you're buying, for example, Ethereum, you're buying, for example, the internet, and anyone that has dApps, they gotta pay Ether to be able to use the network. So you're buying the network in a sense, kind of like if you have this AT&T and me and you're buying parts of the cell phone tower. Okay. And then eventually other companies that want to use it, their cell phone, they got to pay us a fee. So in a sense, I invest in Neo because it's a protocol that other things are going to get built onto it. The other reason I like Neo is that just like stocks, okay, it gives me a dividend in a sense in something called gas, which is another form of cryptocurrency that is used in the Neo system for transactions to happen. If you want to say something from this side of the network to the other, you got to pay gas. So if you own Neo, you will get gas because you stake your Neo. So it's very, very cool. It's kind of like if back in the days in the 50s that if you had $100,000 or if you had $1 million in the bank, you could get interest on your money and that you could live off that interest. Well, today's banking and savings are all jacked up because the way they are, right? And I want to get into it right now. Therefore, our money is actually losing money. Now we're not getting interest, we're actually losing money because of inflation. So you're not getting paid shit, doodly shit for your money that you have in your savings. And on top of that, you're losing money because of inflation. Unlike Neo, if you have $100,000 in Neo, it's gonna give you gas. Okay, and you can sell that gas on the market for a price. Okay, now the price fluctuates, depends where the market is. Okay, so let's go to the next. My top picks for cryptos is EOS. All right. Now, EOS is again another platform or protocol. Okay, platform protocol is kind of similar, but not really. But you kind of see it's a platform where you build on top of it. Okay, is EOS, and again, I like EOS because of the ability for other application, other ideas that hasn't been discovered yet can be built on top of that. Just kind of like Ethereum, where people are building ICOs. With EOS, people can build different types of ideas or businesses or applications or softwares, etc. Okay, so these two are protocols, and these two are coins or cash, as you want to call it, coins, where they're actually the actually monetary system that can replace any country. Okay, you could buy stuff with these two. Okay. Now, where these two, you own the protocols, you own the network, part of the network. Like if it was a cell phone company, we would own part of the towers, and then we would get pay off that, okay, by staking our coins and getting gas or in EOS. Okay, I hope you understand what I'm saying. Now, so let's go to the next one. Point number 5, guys. Now, this one was a very, very hard decision for me. So I'm going to show you a couple of ones that I'm invested in that I like. And here we go. So Monero, okay, I can't smell, but it's Monero. I like this one because it is a currency like Bitcoin Cash, and it is 100% private. okay, which I like, and I think privacy is a very important part. That's why I put it here, okay. Um, and it hasn't been hacked, which is great. The other thing, the other coin that are basically at this level that I like, another one is called uh, Bilio, if I'm not misspelling it. And this is another protocol. But one of the cool things with this protocol is that they're trying to incorporate all different programming languages like Java, C++, PHP to be able to work with the blockchain. Because, for example, right now, blockchain, you have to learn a whole new language. For example, if with Ethereum, they have their own language, and not that many programmers know about it. Okay, majority of programmers right in the world know like C++, they know PHP, and they know Java, the things you can learn in colleges, where blockchain programming is totally different. So what this company is trying to do is try to create a blockchain where it has layers where other programmers like C++, PHP people, they can program in their own language and it will be compatible with this blockchain, which is very cool, and no one's doing that right now, okay? Which why I like that one. Also like Litecoin. I was a big fan of them. To their founder, Charlie Lee, sold his all his Litecoin, and I was kind of disappointed. But I do have a lot of Litecoin, and I think that it can be a hit sometimes down the line. Um, but Litecoin is my least favorite coin, because I believe in Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash to be and Monero to be a higher value, but I just want to mention it to you. And there's another company that I like, that I have invested. It's called Digabyte. I might be spelling it right. And they're very much like Bitcoin, but there's some differences in them, like the way it's being able to be mined. Because right now Bitcoin, there's basically couple of big pools of miners, and they control, all the information in the sense of validation, uh, and building the blocks, where Gigabyte allows variety of different processes to verify the block and build the block, which allows more decentralization, which is great. Instead of just a couple of handful of people having power, everyone can validate the information, which I like. So there's a handful of other coins that I believe in, that I like, that I'm heavily invested in. So for point number five, it was very hard for me to pick, Monero or Gigabyte or Nebulo or Litecoin. Um, like I said, that there's so many other ones that I'm invested in that I like. But if I was gonna do the top five, I would say Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Neo, EOS, and one of these, on number five. And then if I had a top 10, if you guys want to know my top 10, I'll be happy to make a video for you guys. Let me know what are your top fives that you like the best, guys. Again, there's so many good ones out there. And as I'm making this video today in June 18, 2018, Bitcoin is still the king. If Bitcoin goes down, all these go down. If Bitcoin goes up, all these go up. So Bitcoin is the